Hello, this is Hillsman Wright for another Los Angeles Historic Theater Foundation sneak peek, and this time we have a real treat for you. We are in the lobby of the Hollywood Pantages Theatre. I'm sitting with Martin Wiviott.
That's it.
Who is General Manager of the Nederlander. Tell us a little bit about your job as General Manager of the Hollywood Pantages. What all does that entail?
Well, it's basically supervising a building and all of the operations in the building with a great staff that we have to do all that work. It's seeing the building works, seeing that the shows that come in, that they have everything that they need, just making sure that the tickets and subscriptions are handled and everything goes out in a timely manner, and it's just dealing with all of our internal staff here to make sure all of that gets done.
Right now you're between shows
right
here at the Pantages. What happens in the building between shows?
We sleep. Actually, there's a lot that goes on. People think if you don't have a show that you're on vacation and sitting by the beach or something, but we're in the middle of planning next year's subscription. There's always the next show to get ready for with marketing, advertising. So this is the time when we have a lot of time to catch up on all the work that we can't do when there actually is a show here.
And I managed an old theater in Memphis. My least favorite things were seat repairs.
Oh, they're doing it right now inside if you'd like to go help.
Oh, no thank you. No,
it's
thank you.
Interesting. They go through and they put a piece of tape on every seat that needs to be fixed so they know which ones to go to. And there are about 300 pieces of tape on seats now.
Well, as you know, one of the worst surprises a manager ever has is that full house.
Broken seat.
And somebody goes all the way through to the bottom.
And you have no place to put them.
We're kind of curious about the renovation restoration. Is there any insights or stories or anything about that process you'd like to share with folks?
Well, it was fascinating. Just to start from scratch, I mean, every inch of the theater was redone. Every inch of the theater, from carpets to walls to the ceiling inside to every glass panel in the main chandelier in there to these major chandeliers here, which weren't even here when we started the renovation because they had somehow disappeared. One story is they're in Barbra Streisand's garage, the old ones. We heard that story. Another story I heard is someone, as a little child, remembers in the 1940s sitting in here with her father watching them take those apart and use the metal to make bullets for the war. That's another story that I heard. But at any rate, they weren't there, but we had photographs.
Yeah.
So what you see up there now is a copy of the photographs made into the chandeliers as the original chandeliers.
We always wondered how we would approach Miss Streisand in a way to see that she might be willing
If she
to
does
return
have
these.
I mean, I don't know where that story came from. Somebody said they were taken down, they were stored in a warehouse. Then when that warehouse went out of business or something, she went and bought them at an auction.
Yeah.
I thought they could have been earrings for her or something, but we don't know where they were.
Well, I was here in 2006 at the League of Historic American Theaters annual conference, and a very lovely presentation was done here with Ann Sachs and Roger Morgan, and of course Jeff Green and all of the folks who kind of worked.
Well, Roger, of course, was here. It was like the Sistine Chapel in there. The scaffold was up, and they were lying on their backs painting the ceiling. So it was amazing, and he was amazing. He did things here that we didn't even know existed in this building.
It's surprising in a building like this. It's been almost constantly used. Mm-hmm. A little worse for the wear and tear, and as we like to point out, 50 years of nicotine on the walls. And then to come in and see what the potential is to peel back.
Well, for starters, the entryway where the box office is, that ceiling was lowered. The walls on the side were covered up with blue tile. And no one really knew that up under there was a ceiling to match the original interior of the theater. We didn't know that was there until we went to tear that false ceiling out, and somebody poked up in there and went, "Oh my God, come and stick your head up through this hole and look in here." And that's the first we knew that was up there.
I would call that a pretty major find.
I think. Some of those original light bulbs up there were still in the sockets up in there. It was amazing.
I don't know, having seen 400 or 500 of these great theaters around the country, that there's a better ticket foyer in the world than the ticket foyer of the Hollywood Pantages.
It just well, the original, the box office was in the middle, like many movie theaters. That was there originally, and that was taken out. And this box office that you see there now which looks like it was there all along. We actually took some imprints of the showcases on the other side, which are original,
Yeah.
and of the artwork around the showcases, and we made molds of that and put those around the box office windows, so it looks like it matches everything else in there. So you almost can't tell that that was added.
And you know, that wasn't the least expensive alternative, was
So
it?
everything was very difficult. I mean, there's some things over here, and then you're dealing with organizations such as the historical organization, and I think one of their mandates is, if it's brand new, it can't look like it was old. Do you know what I mean?
I know, Secretary of Interior standards.
Right. And we stuck over in that area, we built in some brand new ladies' bathrooms. And there was just a smoking lounge before, and we took the molding like around the ceilings here, and we put those around the edge of the new wall, so it matched the whole edging in that area, so it looked like it was there. And someone from the Historical Society came in and said, that's new, it can't look like it was old. So if you walk over there, you'll see everything with gold and gilt is there, and then this one strip is painted in neutral color, so it can't look like it's original.
Well, being in Hollywood, you had another level of historic review to go through, and that's Robert Noodleman.
Right.
And Robert, stories about working with Jimmy on the building and finding blueprints for the office building that was supposedly built over. Is that? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, there are plans now to build up another 10 stories on top of the office building, which is the front part on Hollywood Boulevard. That goes up into the lobby here. In front of the lobby, over that box office area, is the office building. And in 1929, when they built it, well, guess what happened in 1929? Stock market crash. They ran out of money. The foundation was for a 10-story building, but they stopped at the second floor because they just ran out of money. So the office building has a foundation for 10 floors, and we found those original Art Deco designs. And so when the economy revives again, that building's going up 10 floors.
Now that's going to be really cool.
It will.
It'll be amazing.
And it'll look like it's always been there.
You guys kind of survived the subway construction.
We did. It was very interesting.
Well, anything interesting in particular, or do you want to forget that entire episode?
Well, I mean, how could you forget your life? That's part of life. It was when your audiences actually had to walk from the parking lot on wooden planks across the mud on Hollywood Boulevard, because that's when it was torn up and closed, and they were putting the subway down this part, and then things started to sink all along Hollywood Boulevard.
Yes.
Things, in fact, I think there's still a lot of lawsuits about that. And sidewalks would start to sink, and things would go on down there. And further down the road, they actually had sinkholes when they were building the subway. And I always thought they should have made an entrance from the station right into the outer lobby, the Pantages, so you could take the subway and walk right up an entryway and come right into the Pantages outer lobby. But they didn't do that. And I also thought that we'd feel that. You know how you're in New York and some of the buildings you feel the subway moving? Don't feel that here. So I guess it's far enough underground that it doesn't matter. But the business, it just affected the business terribly. People just didn't want to come here and all of this.
Well, it was a tough time, and then of course.
And you can imagine what the carpet looked like. Mud.
Yeah, and then of course, then the W goes under construction. But you survived all of that.
We did.
And you've got a beautiful facility, and you've got a lot of great shows coming
You know
up
that
here.
song from Follies, Good Times and Bad Times?
I've seen them all in
And
my
we're
year.
still here.
You've got it. Rumor, confirmation, or denial.
Oh, rumors.
There were 2 theaters in the United States that had banned cars, we are told. One is Radio City Music Hall, and we were told when this theater opened that there was a banned car in the Pantages. Have you heard anything about that?
No.
That makes me want to find out
That's
even
a new
more.
topic. I hadn't heard that.
Anybody watching or hearing this, if you know anything about the Pantages banned car, please let us know.
We know about the ghosts. But
Do we have a ghost?
We have several ghosts.
Uh-oh.
We do.
Are they named?
No, but there are 2 lady ghosts in the basement.
Yeah.
Dressed in sort of 1940s
Okay.
clothes.
Okay.
And there's a man ghost in the balcony in about the 5th row that always sits in the same seat. And in fact, during the renovation, there was some plumbers here from an outside plumbing company very early in the morning, 7:30. And this heavy-set guy came running out from the theater out into the alleyway, white as a ghost, as it were. And he said, "Do you know what I just saw down there?" And we said, "Oh, did you see the ghosts?" And he went, "Yeah, how did you know about that?" So they're there, and people do bump into them occasionally.
Well, it's an amazing, we kind of have an enlightened attitude about that, the theater being a space of the imagination, and if there is a life after death, what a better place to hang out.
I think in a theater. I'm so glad they're still buying tickets.
Well, at least they're taking a seat.
There you go.
And you will know, one of the great joys of being a theater manager is being in this building all by yourself, late at night, dark, and there's nothing darker than a theater that's dark.
Oh, there's a ghost light. Why do you think they call it a
The
ghost light?
light.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard a little bit about our wonderful Pantages Theatre, and if you've never seen it, I think this would be a good time to come and join this organization on August 28th. They're going to be going through the theater, looking at all the historic elements here. I mean, come see the place that Howard Hughes lived in. He actually lived here in the 1950s when he owned the theater, when we had the Academy Awards here. You're going to have a wonderful time. You need to join this tour. Anybody can come, people from the organization, the public, and we welcome you to come on this tour.